Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, going to be talking through a couple player props I like on Prizepicks for tonight's NBA slate on Friday, April the 14th. Now we have two games. Once again on Friday night, we have the play-in tournament closing out on Friday night. So we have the Heat and the Bulls playing. Winner of that game will get the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference, and loser, season's over with. And then we have the Thunder and Wolves playing. Winner of that game will be the 8th seed in the Western Conference, and then obviously the loser, your season's over with. So these are, once again, elimination games. These are do or die games. I got two props I like. I got one play that I like from each one of these two games. We're going to talk through these two plays, guys. We're going to share why I like them. But before we do get started breaking down the plays, as always, if you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, if you find them helpful, make sure you hit that like button down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to Prizepicks, if you've never checked them out before, you can sign up for Prizepicks and use my promo code NOAH. When you sign up, you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. And I do want to give Prizepicks a shout out because they are running an incredible promo. They actually announced it on Thursday. If you look on the screen right now, Prizepicks is running a $1 million giveaway sort of promo. If you take a look at their site, you can kind of find more details about it. But from me reading the rules and everything, what this is basically every day during the playoffs, so not including today, since today's the play-in tournament, but on Saturday, tomorrow, Saturday, once the playoffs start, every day, I believe, until Game 7 of the NBA Finals, if there is a Game 7, Prizepicks is going to be giving away a $1 million free entry. So basically, it's a $40,000 six-pick flex entry that pays out 25x. If you go 6 for 6, pays out 2x if you go 5 for 6, and then pays out 0.4x if you go 4 for 6. So from my understanding, it's basically one person. I don't know who it's going to be. I guess it's just complete random. I think it's a random generated number, but you have to place one entry each day. As long as you place one entry after a certain time period, I think it's 8 a.m. As long as you place an entry after 8 a.m., you are qualified to have a chance to win this $1 million free entry. Obviously, the chances of winning this are probably pretty slim because there's obviously a lot of people playing on Prizepicks. But it's a pretty cool promo that Prizepicks is running. They're going to be giving away free entry every day during the playoffs, which you have a chance to win $1 million off this free entry. It's a six-pick flex entry, $40,000 six-pick flex entry that pays out like a typical six-pick flex entry does. 0.4x if you go 4 out of 6, 2x if you go 5 out of 6, 25x if you go 6 out of 6. You can take a look at Prizepicks website. I know there's more terms and everything and more details there. But did want to give a shout out to Prizepicks running a really cool promo for the postseason, and I'm sure they're going to have some more promos throughout the postseason. They tend to always run promos, and they have Taco Tuesday and stuff like that. So if you guys are not playing on Prizepicks yet, I don't know what you're doing. Get over there, sign up. Make sure to use that promo code NOAH. When you sign up, you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. And we've been doing really well with our Prizepicks plays lately. We've gone 4-0 over our last two videos. Ever since the play-in tournament has started, we've been doing really well. Cashed our 2 picks on Tuesday. Cashed our 2 picks on Wednesday. So been on a nice little run. Let's try and keep it going heading into this Friday slate. So let's talk through the 2 plays I do like for Friday, guys. We're going to start off in the Bulls and Heat game. And I want to talk about Nikola Vucevic's fantasy score. I got 2 fantasy scores I like for today. Vooch is one of them. I think this 34.5 line on Vooch is a little bit too low here. I know the matchup against Miami is not the best, and that's probably one of the reasons you're seeing a line on Vooch so low. But this is an elimination game, and we saw last game, obviously that was an elimination game for the Bulls. We saw Vooch play 39 minutes last game, and I think we can expect more of the same here. This Bulls team, outside of their main 3 guys, and maybe like Kobe White, Alex Caruso, maybe like Patrick Williams. I mean, this team, they don't really have much depth. They're not a team that's going to run out a deep rotation. They're going to condense things. They're going to play probably 8 guys, max. They could even run like a 7-man rotation here. And we saw Andre Drummond last game, like he played like 2 minutes. They just don't really have any other bigs they want to give minutes to right now. So I think Vooch is going to play a ton. He played 39 minutes last game. I wouldn't be surprised if he plays 40 minutes here. And this season, Vooch has been a very solid per minute producer. He's averaged 1.1 fantasy points per minute since he's been with the Bulls. And if you take a look at this season, when he's played 36 minutes or more, over his last 25 games where he's played 36 minutes or more, he's over this fantasy score line in 20 out of those 25 games. So typically, when he plays 36 plus minutes, he's going to go over 34.5 fantasy score more times than not. I know the matchup is not that great, but this line definitely feels too low for Vooch. If we're going to get almost 40 minutes from him, and he has already faced Miami 3 times this season, and he's actually done pretty well against Miami. He's played them 3 times. In those 3 games, he's had 46.4 fantasy points, 46.4 fantasy points again. And then there was one game he did have just 30 fantasy points in 39 minutes. But he is over this line in 2 out of 3 games against Miami. Again, I feel like this line's a little bit too low for Vooch. Last game, played 39 minutes, had over 40 fantasy points. Should play 39, 40 minutes once again here. This line just feels too low to me at 34.5, given how good of a per minute producer Vooch is. He should average over a fantasy point per minute here. I like this spot for Vooch. I wouldn't say the matchup's like the greatest, but this line definitely feels too low, especially with the minutes being so condensed, so tight around kind of the main guys here in a must-win game. So that is the first prop that I do like for today. And then another fantasy score prop that I like is going to be Mike Conley's fantasy score. That line sits at 28.5 on Prizepicks. I also like the over here for Mike Conley. And we've seen this season Mike Conley be a guy that typically doesn't play like huge minutes. Even in competitive games during the regular season, Conley was only playing like 30, 31, 32 minutes. You take a look at his last 2 games. These have been really important games. Obviously, last game against the Lakers, that was the play-in game. That was, a big game for them. They came out, didn't get the win. But Conley played 44 minutes in that game. Obviously, the game did go to overtime, so Conley got extra minutes because of overtime. But even at the end of regulation, he had played 38, 39 minutes, which is like, I think that's the most minutes he's played all season in a game. And then the game before that against the Pelicans, that was a really important game for playoff seeding. I'm pretty sure that was the game that determined who got the 8 seed, who got the 9 seed. And we saw in that game, Conley played 34.5 minutes. So their last 2 really important games, Conley has played 34.5 minutes and then 38.5 minutes. Conley, typically is a guy that is going to average close to a fantasy point per minute. He's been about a 0.9 fantasy point per minute player this season since he's been with Minnesota. So he's a guy that typically will be fairly productive when he's on the floor. And I think with Minnesota running a tight rotation here, if you take a look at their rotation last game, they pretty much only played 8 guys. They did play 9 guys, but Nathan Knight only played like 2 minutes. So they're going to run a tight rotation. They're probably going to run maybe an 8-man rotation again. They should have Rudy Gobert back for this game, so maybe they run a 9-man rotation. But regardless, I think we can pencil in Mike Conley for pretty big minutes here, because you look at the depth on this Minnesota team, they really don't have much depth. There's really no one you would really worry about stealing minutes from Conley. They're not going to play Jordan McLaughlin a ton. They're not going to play Nickeil Alexander-Walker a ton. They're not going to play Jalen Noel a ton. It's very, very unlikely that those guys are like closing over Mike Conley. Mike Conley's going to be in the closing lineup. He's going to play big minutes. And when he's played big minutes, he's gone over this 28.5 fantasy score line in most of their games. There's only been a few games this season where he's played like really, really big minutes. Again, he typically doesn't play huge minutes, but this season he has played 34 plus minutes in 4 games with the Wolves. Technically 5 games if you count last game against the Lakers. So technically he's played 5 games with at least 34 minutes since he's been with Minnesota. He's over this fantasy score line in 4 out of those 5 games. He's had obviously the 42.8 fantasy points against the Lakers. Then he had 51 against the Bulls. He had 35.7 against Brooklyn. He had 31.9 against the Pelicans. And then there was one game against Portland where he played 35 minutes, only had 23.8 fantasy points. He also shot just 2 for 8 in that game. So kind of a poor shooting game there. But Conley, he's one of these guys that can do a little bit of everything when he's on the floor. He can score. We saw him, have a good scoring game last game. He's really good at getting assists. I think if Rudy Gobert does play for Minnesota today, that's probably good for Mike Conley, because Mike Conley and Rudy Gobert have a really good connection. They're really good, connecting on lobs and stuff like that. Conley can get a lot of assists to Gobert. So I kind of hope that Gobert plays. I think that's probably a good thing for Conley. But either way, I feel like this fantasy score line's a little bit too low for Mike Conley, especially if he's going to be playing 36, 37, 38 minutes like he did last game, which I think, given how important that game was, given how important this game is, we can expect pretty big minutes here once again from Mike Conley. This is a good game environment. Both these teams play fast. So, yeah, that's the second pick I like for today. It's going to be Mike Conley, more than 28.5 fantasy score. And these are 2 picks I like for Friday night's NBA games, guys. These are kind of some early picks I'm liking. Taking a first look at the board right now. I'm recording this video on Thursday night, so obviously haven't really been able to take a deep dive into the full board. I will do that on Friday. I will be sharing some more plays I like for today over on Patreon. Probably will have a few NBA plays, and I'll have a few MLB plays posted on Patreon for today. So if you guys want to check out the Patreon, see all the additional Prizepicks plays I'm on each day, you can check that out. Linked down below in the description. But I do appreciate you guys watching the video. Make sure you hit that like button down below if you guys enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And again, go check out Prizepicks. If you guys are not playing on Prizepicks yet, get signed up over there. Use that promo code NOAH. When you sign up, you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. But good luck tonight, guys. Thanks as always for watching the video, supporting the content. Appreciate you guys a ton. Hopefully, we can all win some money tonight, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.